Hi, welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. I'm here today to help you with the knitting basics, and we're going to talk about the 3 tools that you need to start knitting. Hi, welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. I'm here with Knitting Ladder to help you learn to knit the easy way. We are talking knitting basics today and for the next couple of videos. So the first thing we're going to learn today is knitting tools. What do you need? What is there that you need when you start knitting? Well, let's talk about tools in just a very varied way. We're talking about things that you need to knit, materials that you need to knit, and just how you can learn to knit today. We're not talking about delving into this massive cool tool bag of what things you need so you can knit with different types and different techniques. We're talking about the very simple basics so you can start to knit without any hassle, without any worry about filling up your shopping basket when you go to the yarn shop. So what's the first thing you need when you start to knit? First thing you need, yes, it's a pair of needles. And I'm going to say, for an adult knitter, for a child knitter, the absolute medium is a short pair of needles. These are 9 inches long. I absolutely love this size of needles. It doesn't hit me in the arm when I'm knitting. It doesn't hit the person next to me when I'm knitting. And it's a great place to start. It's very obvious how you knit with these because there's a stopper at one end, which means you knit from this point. You're not going to get confused about which end you're knitting from. And these are medium-sized needles. These are 5mm, and you can go a little bit more chunky if you like. You can go for 6.5, maybe 7mm needles. It will depend on the next tool that you need, and that is the yarn. Go for whichever colour you like. Pick out the favourite colour, whatever you like. And yes, this yarn will depend on the size of needles, because on every piece of paper that wraps around the ball, you will have a little gauge sitting there, a little set of instructions. It will say which size needle is appropriate for the yarn. And what I'm going to suggest is that you pick up yarn that is smooth, hasn't got any lumps and bumps on it, that is really well spun, and it's just simple to use. It's not going to be really fluffy or tweedy. It's not going to have bobbles all over it, because then you might get confused if you're a new knitter. Just a plain ball of yarn that you can say, this is my first project. I don't know how to knit yet. I'm picking up needles and yarn for the first time. I need to make it easy. So let's do that. Let's make it easy with a ball of yarn that says, here we go, I'm starting to knit. If you have 5mm needles like I suggest, you want Aran, also known as worsted weight yarn or medium weight yarn. So that is just a very simple medium yarn. You'll see the stitches easily and you'll be able to knit without it being too clunky or too fat with the needles. So it can feel uncomfortable if the needles are too big, and it can be too detailed and difficult to see if the needles you're knitting with are too small. So it's a happy medium. And yes, like I said, if you're an adult or a child, that's perfect for you. But if you're an adult, you could also use what's known as chunky or bulky yarn or large yarn. And that is also perfect for 6.5 or 7mm needles. So those are 2 things. You need your needles and you need your yarn. That sounds very obvious. What's next? Well, you need some kind of learning tool. That's what I'm going to tell you. You need the YouTube videos. I'm going to link below the first 3 videos that you're going to need, and that's what I'm going to talk about in the next video. So yes, you're going to need a learning tool. You can use YouTube. You can use a book. I used a book when I was learning because YouTube wasn't available. My mum helped me and I was reading a book. I had a Ladybird book of knitting. I'll just go and get that and show you. Here it is, the Ladybird book of knitting. This is such a find. I was looking for one and I said to my mum, do you happen to have one? And she found this at a local charity shop. So I was so thrilled when she found me because I had this as a child. I got lots of my Ladybird books sitting around from when I was a child, but somehow or other I just didn't have this. So I had this, and I had an Usborne book of knitting. The current Usborne book of knitting is brilliant for children. I absolutely adore it. I do have a copy of that, and I will link to it in the comments as well if you'd like to get hold of that. This I absolutely love. It's so simple. It doesn't complicate things. If you want a book about knitting, find a child's book of knitting, if you're an adult even, because it's just, this is how you knit, get on with it. And you can knit this, this, this and this, get on with it. If you go for an adult's book on how to knit, you're going to have so many options in there. You need this, and you need this, and you need this. Sometimes it can just be too much and overwhelming. So in that case, I have to learn so much before I'm really good enough. This shows you that you can be a good enough knitter without learning so many other skills within the knitting niche. You've got years to learn all of those skills, so just start. And yeah, really be happy that you've got stitches on your needles and you're learning to knit. That's it. So a book is another option. And you can buy a course, a video course online. You can buy a course where you would go to a yarn shop for 6 weeks in a row and they teach you the basics of knitting. Or you can find a friend to help you. If you have a friend who's a good knitter and a good teacher, not someone who you're going to burst into tears because you don't understand what they're saying. Yeah, I've had that experience in the past, not with knitting, but with other learning, where I go to a friend and they help me and it just does not work. So yeah, find someone who's a good teacher and you'll really love it. And you can bet a yarn store owner is going to sit there because they want you to buy the yarn and the needles multiple times. They're going to say, yeah, I'll help you. This is how you knit. That's it. Get on with it. And that is it. You need the first few skills, which I'll talk about in the next video, and then you're done. So we need the needles, we need the yarn, and we need some kind of learning tool. Cool, we're doing well. I will see you for the next video. Do subscribe because that means that you'll know when the next video appears, but you'll only know if you hit the little bell. Make sure it's a filled bell. YouTube has now given us 3 options, so we can have the bell off or we can have an empty bell where it will tell you there's a video available occasionally, or you hit it so it's a filled bell and then it will let you know when every video of mine appears. If you want to learn the knitting basics and you want to know what's going on, then that's it. Subscribe and make sure the bell is filled in. Great, I will see you for the next video where we will be talking about the 3 knitting skills that you need as a learner knitter. I will see you for the next video. Bye for now. Happy knitting.